Okay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. We were sitting here doing a morning prayer together, and Candy said, "Oh, you're live." I said, "Oh, really?" So then I had to make sure. How is everybody today? Marita's Mirror, good to see you, dear. Hi, Teresa Ford. Great to see you too.
Hi,
Everybody
Maritta's
else.
Mira and Teresa.
Yeah. So we were just doing a little short meditation prayer, just kind of emerge and getting our condition, getting our harmony, harmonizing our vibrations. So, and that's kind of what we're talking about today too. We thought we'd chat about that and then pull some cards and talk a little bit more about Reiki with Kandi. So, welcome to my channel. If you don't already know me, I'm Terry at Holding Your Space. And this is my dear friend Kandi Mullen. She's an intuitive and a Reiki instructor, a healer. So, what would you call yourself, Kandi? All of the above?
Yeah, I don't really have a name. I use just a Reiki practitioner and I am intuitive. And yeah, I don't know. I don't label myself.
It's all on the flow, isn't it? We keep learning. I mean, I think everybody out there, we all keep learning new modalities as the energy changes on the planet. So we
Here's
change.
one intuitive. Oh, I just had a thought and it escaped me. That's real intuitive, huh?
No, that's what's been happening to me all week. Well, most of my life, but really all week for sure. Hi, Maruta. Hi, Karen. Great to see you. Welcome this morning. Um, so there is a pretty good delay on the chat to our StreamYard. So FYI, I didn't realize it was so bad this morning until I said something to you, Teresa, and then I didn't see it for like 5 minutes or something, or 3 minutes. So it's a big delay. Hi, Teresa. Oh, I love all the teas.
I know.
That's great.
Hi,
Anyway,
everyone.
yeah. So while we're all here, why don't we kind of raise our vibration and do a quick meditation and just joining our light, seeing our divine light inside us, in our heart space, our solar plexus, all the way up to our throat chakra as it grows. Just seeing that spark of divinity as it expands throughout our rooms, calling in our guides, our angels. Lots of sparkles come in. Now calling in all our ancestors, all those that have passed before us, and calling in our spirit animals, all our animals. All right, unconditional love with those animals. So we're going to do a big cloud around us today, and it's a cloud of comfort because we might need it in the coming weeks. So in a blue cloak of serenity, just to help us to ease our way and to feel our vibration, being able to stay steady. So wrapping everybody up in that big love, big love, and feeling that energy all around us. All right. Breathe that in and out. And we are back. We are here. That's awesome. Hi, Marita. Yes, ma'am. I did see your good morning. Hi, Teresa Baltazar. How are you? And Lauren. Oh, you're on your way out the door for your adventure with your girlfriends. Have fun. You guys are going to look for crystals and cards, I think, today. And it's funny, Lauren, because we talked about that yesterday. And I have some girlfriends that live in town, and they're coming over to play with cards and crystals today. So my house.
Sounds like a fun
Um,
day.
yeah, yeah, right. So, oh well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about joy and laughter. So, bringing that in. So, with everything that's going to be going on pretty soon, with changes that are happening, sometimes we get in that fight or flight mode when there's changes happening, because there will be, and there's always change, right? But we kind of get that narrative of, oh, what will I do? How will I face this? And sometimes changing that narrative is just as easy as saying something silly like, what did I have for breakfast? And you change the whole story then, and it actually changes your brain at the same time. So when you get in that fear base and you're thinking of a fearful thought, and then you change it to, what did I have for breakfast? Or something else silly like, um, I'll get a new car, or whatever you want there. Or what shoes will I wear? Something like that. So changing that narrative just kind of detaches you and makes you look at everything a little bit differently. Hi, Marianne. Nice to see you.
Hi, Judith and Maruta and Marianne. Good to see you
Yeah.
all.
Judith's here too.
Yeah.
So, what do you do when you start getting in those moments that you need to raise your vibration? And
Well, a real quick, easy one is just even an affirmation. I am peace. I am love. And saying that a couple of times really can shift you out of that, or start to shift you out of the fight or flight, freeze response. And of course, I always practice Reiki. That's just so easy. I just place my hands, especially on the heart, settles me down. And breathing, focusing on breathing. There's that great, real easy 4-7-8 breathing exercise that I think Dr. Weil, is it Weil? Yeah, I think he talks about that quite a bit. You can find that on YouTube. But inhale 4 seconds, hold it for 7, and release for 8, 3 times. Works easy.
That's a great one. There's also that box breathing. Inhaling for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding for 4 again, doing that one 4 times. Breathing techniques are huge. And, that's been used for thousands of years in Ayurveda. The Vedas used it, the Vedics. And also now in hospitals. So, if somebody's having an anxiety attack, that's the first thing they go into. Marita wants to know, oh, yeah, how much laundry do I have to do today? That's a great one to do. Instead of, what did I have for breakfast? Yeah, rabbit holes are easy, right? And we're conditioned. Our brain has been conditioned by politics and the media to go into rabbit holes. So to change that narrative requires some tools. So I think that's a good thing to talk about today. And one of the best ways to change it, a narrative too, is to have fun, right? Teresa says, when I get startled by something and feel fear, I train myself to say the word safe. Teresa, that's amazing. That's really good.
And dropping into that first chakra, the root chakra, that helps, because that's where our survival instinct is, right? That's where it kind of resides, right there. And feeling safe and supported, it's really important. So visualizing that crystalline red color and maybe spinning it in a clockwise motion can be really supportive. If you like to work with colors, it's a great option.
That's a great idea. I love that. Yeah. And then if you got an archangel that you work with or want to work with, so be sure and call on your guides and your ancestors too. They always say, we're on a free will planet. So we need to call them in if we want something done. Otherwise, they just stay by and wait for us. And I always hear from my guides and spirit when I talk to them. They're always like, it's an honor to serve, because that helps them too. That's part of their growth cycle. Marianne, you don't need a lobotomy, but I've been there, honey. I've felt that way before. Good morning. You've got this. Oh, you've got this. That's awesome, Annie Bear. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We do have it, don't we? So we don't always know we have it, but we certainly do. So they say that in studies that when you do the affirmations, you have to do them like 400 times or something for your brain to connect and change that narrative. But if you do them with joy and like either dance them or sing them or scream them, whatever brings you joy, or draw them. Marianne's a great artist. Um, then it increases or decreases how many times you have to do it. I think it goes from like 400 to 20. So anyway, yeah. So that's pretty cool too. I've started doing that. So I do drawings, and then around the drawing, I'll do well, you may have seen them on my channel. I do them sometimes, but, and then I'll do my affirmations going around it. And it's always, right now I've started doing a new one. It's, I am a wizard. So anyway, I like that energy, wizard energy. Yeah. So, we were kind of talking about that, and being in harmony with the planet. And so also being rooted. And something that works well for me is when I'm walking in nature, and depending on where you live right now, it's 19 degrees here. And Candy, what is it there?
It's probably in the high 70s.
Yeah, so you can do this. But for me, what really helps is when I go in nature, or I've got these flowers here today, I can look at them and really go into their consciousness, and smelling them, uh, touching them, and imagine tasting them, going into all your senses, and then doing it again when you get a little deeper. Oh, Annie Bear, you hug a cascara tree every morning and night and say my thank yous and intentions. That's beautiful. Yeah, post anything you guys got. That's amazing, Annie Bear. I love that. So, oh, you're working on a self portrait, me as a Medusa. Maybe not such a great idea. Um, Marianne, the Medusa is part of the divine feminine. So we went to, I've got family in England, and when I go there, I live in the Midwest, and in the summers we go to the lake. Well, if you live in England, you go to Greece because it's a deal, It's like going to the lake. It takes you a couple of hours to fly there, and boom, you're on a beach. Anyway, so we were on Crete, and there's a famous museum there. It's not a Minotaur museum, but that's what I want to call it. I can't remember what it is, but there's a famous picture of Medusa, or sculpture, and I've got it somewhere. I'll post it later. And that is the divine feminine that they're talking about when they work with that. So, oh, Marina uses, I use, I am young, I am strong, I am perfect health to help with physical healing. I repeat it a lot. That's beautiful. Marianne, you're from Crete? Oh, how beautiful. Wow. Yeah, we were there right before the pandemic. And there were, when we first got there, there were 9 of us. We had kind of a family reunion there. And then by the end, I think there were 18 of us. It was a big family gathering, and it was a blast. It was so beautiful. Gorgeous waters. Yeah, and Candy is lucky because she lives by a beach, so you get to connect with all that beautiful energy.
Yeah, I do. I get to go down there really whenever I want. I like it on Sunday nights. They have a nice drum circle. It's pretty big. It's pretty well known, but it's a really large beach area. So you have to walk a really good distance from the it's not really a boardwalk, but it's paved all the way down to the water. So it's a great reset, or to kind of kick off the new week. It's kind of, everyone's there and happy and kids are running around and bubbles are flying and sage is smoking all around. It's drumming. It's fun.
Well, it's a total sensory experience, isn't it?
It is. It's all around sensory.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Because you can feel the air, you can smell the, sage or whatever else people might be smoking, and you can feel the sand, you hear the drums. Sometimes there's a flute and there's rattles. So, yeah, Marianne, it's yeah, shamanic drumming. It's really, yeah, it's amazing how big it is. And they've been doing it for years. And it goes like late afternoon to sunset. And then it's almost like that last beat when the sun sets. And then everybody joins in a circle, or those that care to, and chant Om 3 times and then throw their hands up together.
I love that. What fun.
Yeah.
What fun.
But it's really grounding, obviously, being on the beach and standing or dancing or sitting for a couple of hours.
And there's something about the vibration of sound too, I think. The waves and the birds. I find that one of the most calming sounds in the world. Judith says, Medusa is part of the divine. The fear-based patriarchy has made powerful women into monsters. Yeah, Judith. And same thing with Kali. We worked with Kali this week and in meditation, and that was huge, powerful deity or archetype. So, yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and now I was putting out some stuff for letting everybody know what was going on this week, and I found that the best thing that I can do is to put on my little cat, Zeppelin, my crazy cat. He's back here somewhere. There he is. So putting Zeppelin on there with his purring. And I was watching him today, and I'm like, that purring is like mesmerizing. It just relaxes you. And I thought we should just do a channel of animals, making beautiful sounds like that, purring and whatnot. Tyler's barking is included. Hi, Jane the Seeker. How are you? Great to see you here. So, Jane, we're just talking about what we do to bring us back into harmony and to raise ourselves up when we need to, our energy.
Yeah, it's been an interesting it's been an interesting several years, but this month has been super interesting with everything going on.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I feel like everything went to fast forward. It's like somebody took the remote control and went, Wah.
Yeah.
Oh, Marina, your dog snores. I love it. Yeah, that could be a channel right there, right? Oh, fun. Well, do we want to talk about some other stuff, or you want to read some cards and just work with that energy?
Well, it was interesting because the card that I pulled for the day today was Messenger. So it's bringing harmony and balance into, or more harmony and balance into our lives. And, letting some of this other stuff just, it's there, but not letting that really absorb that type of energy. And so it was really perfect with what we started with, Terry, in terms of coming into balance and harmony, and what we do to take care of ourselves, especially in that moment when all of a sudden it's like, now what? You want to freak out, or
right? Teresa says, I felt that masculine energy moves towards goals in the physical world, while feminine energy manifests towards goals. And that can be scary for some, so they try to repress the feminine. Oh,
yeah,
interesting. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, so I pulled this morning. We pulled a couple of cards. We're using Jane the Seeker's thing there. I love the way she does that, is pulling some cards at the beginning. And I pulled change, the healing form, healing. And changing form. There is nothing wrong with you. You are simply changing into a lighter version of yourself. So I just love these cards. They're I don't know if you can see that very well. I'm trying not to get in front of my mouth, but
That's fine.
anyway, seeing that change. And okay, if anybody, I don't know if anybody else sees that being in the center. These are Palladian cards. Gosh, I'm just not very good at that. There we go. Okay. StreamYard gets me confused. So, but these are Palladian cards. So, working with their light and making changes. And of course, we've got so many entities that are here on the planet right now coming in and watching us. or maybe not inside the planet or outside the planet, all over the place, right? But and here to help. Yeah, Annie Bear, these are gorgeous cards. These are the Palladium Wisdom Oracle cards. They are by Pia and Colin, and they channel the Palladians, and really interesting couple. So they have to be to channel together. They have to be next to each other. They have to be touching, and good thing they're married. So really interesting. Oh, Teresa Ford says that rage energy can be transformed into whatever you want it to be. It's a good start for manifesting your desired outcome. Yeah. And, you know, that's another thing. Sometimes in the spiritual community, we see a lot of toxic positivity, you know, just smiling through things and not being in touch with our feelings. And so if we're going through grief or if we're going through anger of something, and we have we have a right to all that, to feel it and watch it and witness it, and but not attached to it. So that's not always easy. That's why going into your senses or doing that breathing technique that Kandi was talking about is so nice for that.
What did you call the healing? Yours, the 444, the boxed breathing?
Box breath, yeah.
Box breath.
Yeah, it's ancient Ayurvedic breath.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, it's good. But I like the other one too. I've done the other one too. So I like them. There's any number of good breathing techniques, but it's just all in what works for you, mm-hmm. and what you can remember in the moment. That's my other thing. 4 times I can remember.
Right.
So, yeah. Annie Bear wants to be of service with your children's stories. That's beautiful, Annie Bear. Yeah. The kids need you. That's beautiful. Also, speaking of that, so we were also going to talk about how sometimes litigation can step in when we're trying to help people, like with Reiki. There might be new regulations coming in too.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, there's things happening across the country because really right now Reiki is not regulated. There is no standard form of teaching it. It depends on the state whether there's licensures that's required, and there are a few states that require it. But we're seeing some power grabs out there by a few individuals trying to regulate not just Reiki practice, but other healing modalities. So if you wanted to, and it varies across the board, the legislation that's being proposed. And but right now we actually just got an emergency note yesterday that we know that the bill is being put before the New Jersey Health Committee, and they have decided, I don't know how this all happens, but there's a public meeting on Thursday, a public hearing, I should say, or excuse me, on Monday, a public hearing on Monday, and in the state of New Jersey. And so we're getting these emails. Anybody that can go there and speak it's really powerful, because the collective Reiki community in both Massachusetts and Maine has able to kind of put a stop on any legislation being put forward. And so now New Jersey's up, and that's a state that we're watching. And then Vermont and Oregon will be next, but it'll be coming to other states. But like I said, not just, so we'll lose our ability, first off, and it's practicing professionally. You can practice for family members, but it's practicing professionally in exchange for money, or teaching it in exchange for money. And that's where, it starts to cut into our freedom or our rights to our own healthcare and what we decide, what we choose, what's right for us. If a Reiki practitioner has to spend $10,000 to practice, so you might have a lot less options as a consumer for selection of a Reiki practitioner, because maybe a lot of people will then, go through the training and become licensed, and then have to keep CEs every 2 years, to be required to continued education requirements. So yeah, there's some things coming down that, and like I said, it's not going to just affect Reiki, but it's going to affect other types of modalities.
How would they even regulate that? Like, what board would regulate that?
Well, it would go in front of the state legislators. Now in Florida, the massage board has regulated it, but there's no lawmaker here, or legislation that was passed by the lawmakers. It's just by the massage board. And that's just a whole nother issue, strangely enough. So it would go in front of the lawmakers, whatever their health committee is. And it can look differently. So it's not just cookie cutter. So anyway, I'm not an expert on it, but I do stay abreast of it, because, one time in the state of Florida, you had to be licensed to throw tarot cards and do intuitive readings. I think my sister said that in Pennsylvania, you have to be a licensed tarot reader. I don't know how all this happens, but it really puts a wrench in the consumer of having that option, or their freedom of choice in deciding whether or not that's right for them.
Yeah.
And, and we want to invest in our own healthcare, and we want to do what we think is right for us. And so again, we're just kind of it's being squashed, a number of these different, legislations that are coming up here across the country.
Sure. Teresa asks a great question. It's a spiritual practice in a way, isn't it?
Thank you, Teresa. Yes, it is. It's mind blowing. And in New Jersey, it's the only spiritual practice on the list. I think reflexology, massages, I think they've already passed the massage, but there were a couple of other where it's truly requires hands-on and, pressure, or like a massage. And so everyone's pretty shocked that they singled out Reiki and added this to the bill that they want to propose.
Wow.
The only spiritual practice. Yoga's not on there. Meditation's not on there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Online offer any protection? I don't worry about online, because I don't know what jurisdiction would it fall under. Yeah, I've been practicing for 14 years, Annie Bear. So there was one bill that I read that was going to require 8 states that they're going to eventually go after. And you won't even be able to practice online. Now, I don't know how I guess you could be reported if somebody schedules an online or distant healing session with you.
Marita has a great question too, wondering why this is an issue now.
Well, it's not. In the state of New York, you used to have to be licensed, and I think it was through the massage board. and a group of people collated around and were presenting to say, hey, this is, this is ridiculous. People should have the right to practice freely. There's over, I think I mentioned this in one of our calls or one of our Zoom or StreamYards, that there's well over 100 different types of Reiki practice. So it's not standardized. And they want to standardize how it's taught and how we practice. So in the state of of New York, they had, at one time you had to be licensed, but a group really fought it. And what happened is there was a snowstorm the day that it was being voted on. And so apparently all the men couldn't make it down to the city. And all the women that showed up, they made quorum and they were able to pass undoing the legislation. So this has been around for 20 plus years, because I think it was the state of Florida that in 1999 deemed Reiki massage. So that's actually classified in the state of Florida as massage. It's not even classified as a spiritual practice.
Yeah. And then Teresa asks, how can they tax this religion? Good question or comment.
And same with Annie Bear. This needs to be regulated, but guns don't, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Good point, Annie Bear. I love that for sure, because that's just cray cray. Cray cray. Oh, Marianne, I love New York.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm in Missouri, and we can't even, I think legislators can't show their arms if they're female in the state legislation anymore. So just crazy. Anyway, so we need our Medusas right now. We need that power.
We need our Medusas, and we need a way to help people. I forget who said that they just wanted to help their kids.
Annie Bear, I think.
And so, yeah, it's important. So I'm trying to stay abreast of what's going on out there. And, I'll keep everyone posted, because it's going to come to a state near you at some point. I think that a few states have that Safe Harbor Act enacted. Like, I think maybe the state of California, they legislated not to ever regulate it, but who knows, that could be undone. There may be a few others that I'm unaware of. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but it's important, because it's important that we have these practices available to us.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. Divine feminine intervention. 100%, Marita. Teresa says, Kali up. You know it, girl. Get that Kali energy going on. Yeah, definitely. So as all this starts happening, and there are so many men that, are into their feminine side as well, and more nurturing. So it's so flowing now, especially with my kids, their groups. I mean, everything's so fluid. But you still run into things, don't you? So, and I think a lot of the men that I know that I'm meeting lately are more fluid in that too. I think that a lot of people are awakening and changing their attitude with what we might have grown up with. Oh, yeah, Annie Bear, that's a good point. We should all have free will over everything to do with our bodies, Reiki included. 100%. Amen. Taking it to the street.
I mean, you're right. Well, Terry, that men have been taking Reiki classes and scheduling healing sessions for a really long time. It's not terribly new. It's probably just becoming a little more mainstream. The more that we can talk about it and help people understand what it is and what it's not, more people will be accepting of it. Feminist chicks dig me. I love that. That's great, Judith. That's fantastic.
Annie Bear says Roe versus Wade, um, that umbrella, till we reinstall it. Yeah, so that is just one of the symptoms, right, of what's coming about. And the more that this chaos is created, and the bigger that change gets, the more it's going to change to the other side and be healed, is what I'm seeing. That's what my tribe keeps saying, my group. What about you? What are you feeling with that, Kandi?
With what? I'm sorry. I think I'm
Oh,
reading.
just all the changes that happen with Roe versus Wade, and how we're not in control of our bodies anymore, or things are trying to be regulated, and
Mhm.
definitely in a patriarchal way against women. So, what do you see happening with that? I see it changing. I see it climaxing into this huge mess like they did with the bank, right? In Silicon Valley, they tried to regulate and deregulate, and now boom. So now I see that happening too with all the
Yeah.
legislation.
Yeah, because there's more legislation in Florida around abortion rights. They want to reduce it being legal up to 15 weeks now to 6, down to 6. And I don't know, most of my friends and family members that were pregnant didn't even know until 8 or 10 weeks into it. So yeah,
Right?
it's actually maddening. It's crazy.
It
But I
is.
see it changing. Like you, it's going to get worse, and we're going to have these times that we're going to have to navigate through, and just kind of do our best to employ those practices that'll help to calm us, and without kind of going off and letting it really affect our energy, because when our energy is off, it affects everybody around us.
Yeah, that's a great point, and that's what we're here to do, isn't it? As light workers. I mean, sometimes it's just giving somebody a smile at the beginning of the day, or opening a door for them, and or buying a coffee, and it changes everything for them that day. Um, I love that, Judith. Feminist chicks dig me. The T-shirt you got for your husband. That's so funny. So yeah,
Yep, Judas, look, 6-week ban is passing through they just met the other day, didn't they? They have yeah, I think it was what, 3-7, the vote. I don't know.
mm,
Yeah, yeah. Teresa,
Teresa.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So they're talking about women talk about their period in schools. What young girls? So I don't know if you guys remember this, but when Pence was governor, what was he governor of? Was it Iowa or Ohio?
No,
It was one of the
Illinois or Indiana.
yeah, it was a Val state. That's how I regulate all those Val states. Anyway, so he passed some sort of legislation about abortion, and if something came out of a woman's body, then they had to let them know about it to be informed by the state. So every time somebody went on their period, they would inform the state. So all these women were just sending these mass emails and calls and flooding the state saying, oh, I'm on my period, I'm having my menstrual cycle. And anyway, he's notorious for that. It was not well advertised, of course, when he was in office, but it was a pretty funny thing. You remember it, Annie Bear, right? Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So, I guess we could even throw some cards if anybody wants cards, or we could throw cards on that. So, your DNC plan just called, just let the RNC talk. It's going to work wonders for us. Jane, isn't that the truth? Because the more nonsense they pull, the better we all look. And and the more it's gonna people are gonna pull together because men don't want their wives and their girlfriends and their partners or children, in this ruckus right now. So they're going to be pulling for us too. I see that happening. And that feminine part too, even in Iran and Afghanistan and all over, all the pain that everybody's going through, all the women. So it's wearing I think it's the hijab, right? That they have to wear around their faces and not having it on properly, and just crazy the way they're treating people and poisoning young girls when they're at school. So, yeah. So let's read about that. Let's read about the divine feminine and what that's going to look like. You want to do that? Pull some cards on that? A couple of cards?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I'm going to use my divine feminine cards today that I love, my divine feminine oracle cards. So, and what's the question here? The question is, in the next year, 2023, do we see changes in policies towards women's rights?
Well, I see them going backwards through 2023. I think it's going to be after 2023.
I think you're probably right there.
I'm not seeing, because too many states are coming up with some ridiculous things right now. Well, this just this just fell out. Betrayal, heartache, three of swords. Yeah, I don't see in this 2023, and it's a 3 card, so 2023, I'm going to say no.
Okay. Yeah, I don't feel like 2023 is going to be the year either. In 2024, we have a big election, but that doesn't really take place, the changing of the guard, until 25, right?
Right. I don't know. Another card fell out from my the Starseed Oracle, the Courageous Peony, multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. So I think it's going to be. I wonder if we're not going to have to be somewhat like the Me Too movement, and we're going to really have to start getting out there, and being seen and heard.
100%. I get
writing and calling our Congress people and.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
definitely. No, you're good. And I get the bear. So, and that's the mama bear. So we have to become mama bears for our sisters and our children, and get out there with our strength and protection, and take care of everybody. So they always said, I don't know if you guys ever heard that, but that the strength of a species, or how well they do, is determined by the mama bear. So how mothers protect their young. So that's us. We're going to take that to the streets and protect our young. And yeah, it might be till 24 that this happens, which, but I think the more they screw it up, the more we're going to have to change it, and it'll be better in the end. But it's going to be a growth spurt, isn't it? And then I get, and I'm going to slay this, Anandamai Ma, the joy permeated mother. So I think she might be Tahitian. So I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. Oh, she's pregnant. Oh, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but she's also pregnant. Yeah. So, so the joy permeated mother, we're going to have to find our joy inside ourselves, and we're going to have to take care of ourselves. But, and know that what we are truly, our true energy, our authentic selves, does not change with all this nonsense. Anyway, yeah. So that was good. Um, but yeah, I think that we will have some things that we'll have to do. So
Yeah, it may just fire people up by 2024. They've had enough because, we know we're about ready to see a mirage of information coming out over the next few months here. And, it may just have some people might just say, whoa, okay, enough. I'm going to hit the brakes and I can't go down that path anymore. I got to choose a different path. Like these things are slowly being stripped away.
yeah, yeah. And there's kind of an underground railroad right now, isn't there, going on with helping women? Underground when it has to be, but supporting them. I know when all this came about, I ran out and bought a bunch of Plan Bs pills. And anyway, my daughter's out of town. She's in Australia, but I let her girlfriends know just in case. Come to Mama Terry. I'll take care of you. If that's what you want, if that's your choice.
Well,
It's a
now we even have a major pharmacy is deciding not to dispense it any longer.
yeah, in California. So I don't know if that's
It's nationwide. It's a big pharmacy,
oh,
big name.
okay. Wow. I didn't know that was nationwide. I need to read more. Usually I get my thing from NPR in the mornings, but and that's about it. So yeah, it's going to be a lot. Um, I do see change happening. I see also I've kind of been looking into the future and what's going to happen and doing some channeling. And I also see like a new star coming in the Democratic Party, a man, and he'll have brown skin. I don't know if he's African American or not, and he's going to rise up, kind of like Obama did. He's just going to kind of burst on the scene and come into play. But I think that'll be good because I think we need that, right? We need to. Joe has carried us so far so fast.
I wonder if that's here. Judith, do you know there was a gentleman that has been sitting in some of these hearings they're having on, I don't know, Twitter and, and he's very eloquent and had some really pointed questions, and they just were falling flat. And he's very eloquent and had some really pointed questions, and they just were falling flat.
Oh, sorry about that. That's me. I'm doing that. Okay. Jane the Seeker says that's Hakeem. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Hakeem. Yeah, definitely. I'm not getting the. Oh, okay. So
we're not getting that.
Stopped.
Yeah. I don't know why the chat stopped. Are you guys hearing this okay?
Yes. Judith, I was refraining from saying it, but that's it. Walgreens and Jane and Annie Bear. Yeah. Yeah, Hakeem. But there was another gentleman. I definitely see Hakeem, but I thought there's another gentleman that was really, but anyway, I think you're right. That's all I'm going to say, Terry.
Yeah, there's a new star rising. So it should be pretty amazing. Oh, Teresa Ford, D. Satan wants girls suspended from school if they talk about their period. Yeah. Even just asking for supplies, it's a crime to be a female in school, right? So also to be trans. I mean, there's just so much going on with all our kids. So it's just not fair. Oh, good. They can hear us. We can't see your chat. I've got my phone on too, so I can see a little bit of it. But let me go back into comments. and see if that'll help. Oh, there is that it? No, that's not
Oh,
helping.
Dan. Okay, Judith says it might be Dan. It might be it.
Oh, okay.
Really good.
Yeah.
Very poised and calm. Just yeah, I really liked the way he delivered the questions.
And that was Barack too, wasn't it? When he came in, he was such an orator. I mean, he can just talk about anything, and I don't think his family likes it as much, but I sure did enjoy listening to him. It was really nice. You know who's a great orator, and don't kill me for saying this, but not Lindsay, but the other one, Mitch. Mitch was giving a eulogy at a funeral, and it was a state funeral. And I was listening to it while I was doing something around the house. I was like, "Oh my God, what a beautiful voice!" And he was saying beautiful things. And then I looked at his face, and I was like, "No." But it's so sad because some people do have a beautiful voice, and they don't use it for good always, or what we think is good. Um,
All right, shall we do cards?
yeah, let's do some cards if anybody wants some. Um, okay. Judith says, my 11-year-old, three of them, grandchildren in Florida are struggling. The schools here have a major bullying program. Yeah, Judith, I agree. And it's been like that for a while. I think we've kind of boxed everybody in. Like you have to be good at math, you have to be good at English, you have to be, good all the way across the board, and do sports or extracurricular activities. And we kind of boxed ourselves in too. Like we have to have a house, we have to have a car, we have to have this, we have to have that, and it's all karma, right? It's just a circle of karma that we keep looking at until we broaden our awareness and realize that we don't have to. That's just constructs. But but the poor kids and the teachers that have to teach that too. I mean, it's so hard on the teachers and the way that they look at that. But for them, how they're graded, how the schools are graded, it's just horrible. My daughter was in a school. She was homecoming queen or homecoming princess, and also on the National Honor Society. And but she's like, "Mom, I can't go back. I just can't go back. It's just too much anxiety." I said, "But you're doing so well." And she said, "It's not my anxiety. I can feel everybody else's anxiety, and it's killing me." So I think so many of our kids are feeling that when they go to school. All that anxiety there, having to perform. Um, yeah, Jane, we're gonna start marching. So,
I thought that yes, Judith, that's he's young, the youngest ever. Yeah, somebody to definitely be watching. Yeah, I was surprised that there wasn't anything announced March here when that took place. I think yesterday or Thursday about the 6 week abortion ban or after 6 weeks. So I'm surprised I haven't heard anything or anything because I was thinking I was going to cancel on you, Terry, if there was. I was going out. I was hitting the streets.
right, we'll go march on that. So I was telling some of our tribe, our morning meditation tribe here, that when Nixon, I'm old, so when Nixon was coming in on his last go round, and he was, I remember this because the bumper sticker said "Lick Dick in '76." So Richard Nixon, Dick Nixon. So anyway, but he was coming into Kansas City, and I think I was 13 or something. And I ditched school that day with some friends, and we hitchhiked downtown to the area that he was going to be at. And um, got my picture in the news, holding a protest sign and on national TV. And then, of course, when he was coming to speak, we had to go to the bathroom. And by the time we came back, he was gone. But then we came home that day, and my mom had seen us on TV. And she said, "Well, what'd you do today, Terry? How was your day?" And I'm like, "Oh, it was great." And she just smiled, nodded. Said, "I saw a young lady that looked just like you on TV." And I said, "Nope, not me, Mom." And that was it. But yeah, we
A
need
great
to. We need
memory.
them out there. Um, okay. So are we reading Tricky Dick? Yeah, Marianne, Tricky Dick. Oh, what else do we want to read on? This is hard. We can't see the chat except for on our phones, and it's hard for me to read it. There's a young kid from Central Florida that was voted into the House of Reps, the youngest ever. He needs to be watched. He is very impressive. Can't think of his name. You know, um, you know who else I'm watching is David Hogg. I can't remember if that's how you pronounce his last name, but the young man
That's
that was
it.
at Parkland. And he has been so eloquent and so on point. He is guided by spirit. It's like he just has a conduit when he talks. And just amazing to listen to him. A lot of those kids that have been through that. So that's another thing that we've got to work out for our schools, isn't it? Protection.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. What do we think the future holds for Kamala? You want to look at that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I think I'll pull some of these. Anybody else have too many cards?
Well, I get the well, so she's got all the resources and everything she needs. I think she's going to have the backing that she needs to she's in this for the long haul. And then here I have the King of Wands. He's actually flew out of my hand. So I see her being there for, I don't see her going anywhere anytime soon. Um, she's got a lot of fire behind her. I think she's going to have a real big backing. And I really even felt that before these cards flew out. I just feel I think she's going to make a stake for herself.
Yeah. Marianne says she will be POTUS. Yeah, 100%. She will be
Yeah.
our first
King of
female
Wands.
president. So I get the tower, but it's not the tower in the Rider Waite. This is Freebird Spirits cards. This is Lenormand. And this one's a little bit different. So authority, ambitions, controlled, um, rules and regulations, aims high at the top. Also, she's aware of what's going on. She's watching it. Sorry, there we go. She's watching it. So she's climbed to the top. And then I also get always lead with love, even with yourself. So I think that's what she does. I think she comes from that feminine viewpoint. Um, and I think she's trying to find that balance too with her family, with what has happened recently. Um, but I have seen her becoming president, um, and moving forward. And I feel like um, she can also wear that purple cloak when she needs to. I mean, she's definitely a Democrat through and through, but she's moderate enough that she can bring people together on both sides, people that feel like they haven't had their voices heard. So, yeah,
With
she will change everything.
with
Oh,
your with that tower card, rules and authority, she'll be known as the rules and authority. I think POTUS, should it go that, I think she'll be known as that. And the tower card too is it's just going to change. She's going to have a new beginning, and that really could just be going from VP to POTUS.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Yeah. Um,
Strength card, Merida's mirror. Marianne gets the Wheel of Fortune. I
yeah.
get the King of Wands.
Yeah, she might get a chance, I think, in this next, after Biden wins, after their team wins, he might need to take off for a little bit, not forever, but for a bit, and she'll get into power there for a little bit and step into his shoes. And I think it's going to be a real awakening for everybody how well she does there. So I think that that'll be great. Yeah, Judith, she can bring the people together. They want to be brought together. We need to be brought together, don't we? Do you walk outside now and see people in the street that used to be, more divisive, I think, in the past administration, and everybody was so divided. I know our family was, and I mean, my cousins. And so it's like, now it's just like, why did that ever happen? What was that? And I look at people and smile at them and I think, they're just like me. They're just different constructs they were brought up with or that they learned. So, Teresa says, another woman I'd love to see in the White House is Katie Porter with her whiteboard.
I love her.
Huh? We may have lost Kandi. And so that's okay. I think she'll be back on or come back in. You froze up, Kandi. Yeah, you may need to go back out and come back in. So let's read on Katie Porter. I'm going to read on her with Ganesh because Ganesh, he's all about getting rid of any obstacles, removing obstacles, and abundance. There you are. Now you're back. Well, maybe not. I can hear you. There you go. You were freezing up there a bit. Oh, still frozen.
Right.
Okay, so Katie Porter. Oh, courage. And isn't she courageous? She is the divine feminine. She does have that Medusa energy going with her. And I love this because this is just like Durga Ma, isn't it? Coming in on her lion and her strength and courage. So that's definitely her. That's her energy. And then surrender. So you have to have a lot of courage to surrender, to let go. And surrendering is all about being strong, isn't it? And knowing what's right and not being tied to the old values or the old constructs that we're brought up with, and looking ahead and making something new. And then for outcome, I get empowerment. So she's got this. It's like the sun card, right? Everything is shining on her. She is empowered. So that's beautiful. We're doing Katie Porter.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you and hear you now.
Okay.
I can sense you now.
Spectrum. It's probably one of the worst.
Oh,
I have the Tower card for her, so I think she will go through something that will bring her a new beginning, clear out that foundation so that she can build. But and then I have the Two of Pentacles with her. So she's got some decisions that she's probably going to need to make, whether she decides to continue with, which I'm sure she will, the Senate run for Dianne Feinstein's seat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I get the Six of Cups. So I think that, I think there'll be some change for her.
Good.
But I don't see her going anywhere. I don't know that I don't really see her as POTUS, but
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even look at that. But I do see her moving forward. She might be a vice president um,
hmm,
in the future. I could definitely feel that
I
energy around her.
did we want to do readings for others, or what were we?
Well, I'd be happy to. If anybody wants a card, we can do that. Um, and
Judith, I love him. Dan Goldman.
yeah, I don't even know him. Congressman Dan Goldman, the other name.
He wasn't he the attorney on the for J6, the DNC attorney on the
Oh,
J6,
yeah. Okay.
and
Yeah.
he's now in Congress. Yeah, I agree. Hi, Jess Ree or Jess Rye.
Hi, Jess. Good to see you. So, yeah, another thing about that divine feminine energy as it comes in, we will have more females being elected and more people of all different persuasions. Like it's going to be more fluid. So I definitely see a lot more LGBT um, uh, coming in, and also people that are of all different races. So it'll look more like the people and less like um, just a bunch of just a patriarchal society or feudal society. Yeah, right. So yeah, so that's good. And let's see. So it's been an hour, Candy. We came in just talking about harmony and love and keeping ourselves high. Well, not all forms of high, but
Our vibrations.
high vibrations. Thank you. Being in harmony with what we're working with, because there's so much that's going to be coming up and so much energy going around. So, working with our senses, breathing treatments or breathing exercises, rather, and that'll help. Judith says, read on Whitmer, governor of Michigan. Oh, that's a great idea. We can read on her. Oh, and Teresa Ford says, more representatives of the actual people of the country, finally.
Right.
Definitely.
Exactly, Teresa. Hi,
Yeah.
Trudy.
Hey, Trudy, how are
Good to
you?
see you.
And I'm going to be on Trudy's channel this week.
Oh,
So,
fun.
yeah,
Yay.
yeah, on the 22nd. And I'm excited to do that. Trudy has just done an amazing job of working with Raha Shah and doing her channeling work. So it's been really interesting. Judith wants us to read on Whitmer, the governor of Michigan. Did you hear that, Candy?
Yep.
Okay.
Governor of I was just reading at Jess's. We'll make sure we get Jess's after that.
Oh, okay.
Great. Governor Whitmer.
Okay. I always see her surrounded in this light, like she's channeling light, kind of like we said Joe Biden did when he was coming in. All of a sudden, he was just in the light, and I see that with her too, like all these attempts on her life and whatnot. She's just surrounded in light. And then I get the card that I get for her and the Palladian cards are relationship. These are not very good cards for coming up here, but it's relationship. And it says, be compassionate rather than reactive in all situations. And she does that. I mean, she has that type of energy. She is relaxed. I mean, she's got to be worried for her family and herself sometimes, but she's out there doing her job and she's surrounded herself with talent. I think she's going to go places. And then I get birds, talking, communication, news, gossip. But she's got this. Well, there we go. Birds. So she's got the communication skills. She's got the talent and the fish. She's in the flow. So I don't know if she what she'll do. I think she might be the head of the party or something, but she's definitely going to do something with the Democrats. What do you
Yeah, I get the lover's card, so she will be
Yep.
partnering up. Or yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then I have the Three of Wands, so assessing her opportunities, what she wants to do, because she is so, and these wands are firmly in the ground, so she holds steady. She's got a conviction there. She's not going anywhere. And then with the Hermit card, I'm looking at the light. Things will be illuminated. She's really taking her time assessing what's next. The other thing that I was drawn to, there's a little skull in this. She's very aware of the dangers that surround her and her family. So she is assessing and going to be sure that whatever she does, her entire family will be safe. And then I pulled one from the Starseed Oracle, and it's double mission. So serve the world by being you. So she's very comfortable who she is. But again, this is telling me she's really mindful of the people that she is surrounded by and making sure there's no harm to them. But she is just solid and grounded. And she has a belief and values that she's just going to, I think she's just going to continue to grow. I think she's going to stay in politics for a while. That's what I'm getting. I mean, I got a strong
Yeah.
feeling.
I could see her as Speaker of the House or something, or the head of the Democratic
Chair, the
Committee.
DNC.
Yeah, chair of the DNC. Thank you, because she's got that kind of authority and that kind of calm demeanor that she can bring people together. So, and a beautiful light. Um,
She does. She's just, you can, like, you step into her energy and you go, oh my gosh.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Marina's got the rebirth card for her. That's beautiful. Oh, oh, Marina, sending lots of love and light to you and your friends at the funeral. So, okay, Judith wants a card, or
Wait,
not
let's,
Judith.
let's get Jess.
It was Jez. Yeah, Jez Ree. Sorry, guys. So we are working without chat on StreamYard because chat's not working all of a sudden. So we're working off our phones in that. So if it's a little discombobulated, that's okay. We figured it out. Um, okay, Jezreel says, "Can you please tell me what messages Spirit has for me today? It kind of got off to a rough start." Sure, Jess. Okay, Jez, I get authentic truth. So um, sometimes we're looking at so many things out here and all this energy spinning around us um, that we don't take a moment to settle ourselves and be in our authentic truth. And one thing you'll know when you're in your authentic truth is because you'll have joy, you'll have that bliss, and you'll that wonder. But so do some calming practices today. But you've got this because look at all that awareness coming out there and look at all that beautiful energy. I'll pull one more for that. And I get healing. So be very kind to yourself today. Be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to heal. And that doesn't just mean your body, your physical body, but with all these changes coming on the planet right now, sometimes we get big downloads. We get huge amounts of energy, we get huge downloads of information, what's going on the planet. So it's time to really be healing with ourselves, all of us, right now, with our authentic selves.
Well, I had cards. I don't know if you saw me like bending over. Cards were just flying out for you, Jess. But the first card I have is the world. So it's as if you're getting ready to really move, step through a whole nother phase of your life, like moving through it, another phase coming to fruition. Because then I have the death card. So it's you're trying to navigate this new beginning, and it's really maybe a little bit of a challenging. And it's not death, I'm not seeing it as being anything other than there's something new that's trying to come through. But interesting, I think this might kind of play a little bit off of Terry's card. It's like lifting the veil. Anything unaligned must go. So whatever was going on this morning, it may be something that in order to have that new beginning, you need to release and let go what doesn't align with your inner soul, with your inner being. And then another card that threw out was all paths lead home. So your inner authority, go within. And it's that term or that phrase that I use. I forget what that phrase said. Turn your gaze within. The way out is in. That's it. The way out is in. So looking deeper within, look at what no longer serves you. Where are you not aligned with situations or people or places? And start listening to that inner voice.
Yeah, I also get release for you, that little angel card. So release what's not serving you. It might be releasing old constructs of having to be this or that person. Or, okay, here's a good one. Everybody has a bucket, right? Just imagine. We all have our own bucket. And sometimes we put everybody else's stuff in our bucket. But really, our bucket is just for us. So we can walk around with it very heavy, carrying all the energy from all the people around us or what they want or their sorrow or taking care of them, because we do that as empaths, don't we? We want everybody to be happy. We want the whole world to come together. So sometimes we carry that in our bucket. So instead, just look at your bucket and keep it just for you. Because service to self is service to others, because we can't help others unless we are fully our authentic selves. So just look at your bucket. And if it doesn't belong to you, pull it out, dump it, until you get what's just you, what just makes you your authentic self. So release. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, honey. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, we all have moments like that, and that's why we're all here, right? That's why we're a family. So,
Use one of the breathing exercises we talked about earlier and shift that a little bit. Bring some calm to your mind and your emotions.
yeah, Jesri, that's how we started this out today. Is Kandi, your breathing exercise was the
4-7-8.
Yeah, 4-7-8, and just inhaling for 4, holding for 7, and exhaling for 8, and then you start it all over. And it brings your body back to homeostasis. It'll lower your blood pressure and your heart rate, and you'll just be able to look at things a little differently. And entertainment only, but this is what studies show all over the world. Also, I've got a little thing that's called What Did I Have for Breakfast? And when you've got a story going around and around in your brain that you need to change the narrative on, you can right in the middle of it say, what did I have for breakfast? And then go back into that narrative and then keep coming out with what did I have for breakfast until all of a sudden your emotions are cut off from it. You're looking at it from a different viewpoint and actually changes the neural pathways in your brain as well. And everybody here had some great ideas of what else to say, like, did I tie my shoes and other things. Oh, okay. I'm in the starred column. Is that it? Okay. Jane the Seeker says, I think your comments got lost because you're in the starred column. Click on comments. Okay. I'm on comments.
They stopped scrolling at 11:07, and that's Eastern. So it'd be 10:07 your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Judith, I love that 478. I'm going to try the 444, the boxed.
Yeah, the box breath is really good too. Inhaling for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding for 4. Also, as much as you can, inhaling and exhaling through your nostrils. I mean, do some cleansing breaths out through your mouth, but you get like, I don't know, 40% more oxygen into your lungs and your heart by inhaling and exhaling through your nostrils. If you are a long hauler from the pandemic, it's a little bit harder to do that sometimes. So just do what's right for you, obviously, and talk to your doctor about it. Yeah, Jane, we all hope you're feeling better. Good, Jezree. I'm glad. Breathing exercises help a lot. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, Kandi, thank you for being here again. What fun.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Terry. I've enjoyed spending this morning with everyone. It's such a pleasure. Good way to start my day.
Yay. And everybody here, thanks so much for being here. Next week, I have on Jean Mayall. She is a world famous intuitive and one of my teachers, and just an incredible woman. She has a website, jeanmayall.com, if you wanted to look at her. And she has predictions on there, read the future nights. And her predictions are bang on, just amazing. So she has a forum on there and whatnot. And anyway, but she also has like 2 degrees from Harvard and a degree from a divinity school, and was out there working in the world. And then one day decided, I'm going to be a psychic. That's what I truly love. That is my authentic self. I think that's beautiful. So anyway, all right, everybody. Everybody have a beautiful day. And her last name is Jean Mayall. It's Mayell. Let me write it out there. Yeah, so she'll be here next week, and at 9:30. And then I'm working with George, the Reverend George Sims, and he's going to be on next week too sometime. So we tried to do some stuff last night, and we had some technical problems.
And when are you on with Trudy?
Oh, I'm on with Trudy on Wednesday. And then Jane the Seeker, I'm on with her. We're doing two loopy light workers. I think that's what we're calling ourselves, right, Jane? Which works out quite well. Anyway, for me. So everybody have a fabulous day. It's so nice to be here with everybody. You want to pull a parting card for everybody for the week?
Sure.
Oh, this is perfect. Let your light shine. So be your authentic self. Get out there. Let your light shine. Quit hiding your light. And we do that, don't we? Sometimes we're not our own best advocates as empaths. We kind of take care of everybody else and have our big buckets that we carry around. So let go of your bucket, clean it out, and let your light shine. Be your authentic self.
And I have perspective. So
Uh-huh.
zoom out, right? Pull back from all the noise and the nonsense and find common ground, or try to look for that common ground, and stay more grounded and out of that fray. The way out is in. So zooming
Mm.
in and staying out of the fray.
That is so profound, Candy. I'm going to write that down. So that's beautiful. I love that.
I
All
think
right, everybody. Have a great week. Lots of love. Namaste.
bye, everyone.